يزال الخير حيا لا يزال إن في الدنيا سلاما.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. All praise is due to Allah, whom we turn to for help, forgiveness and guidance to the right path. And we seek refuge in Allah from the evils of our souls. And we seek refuge in Allah from the evils of our sins. For whomsoever Allah guides, no one can misguide. And whomsoever is guided, then only Allah the Almighty can guide him to the right path. And I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah the Almighty, without any partners. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his slave and messenger. May the peace and blessings and prayers be upon him until the day of judgment. O you who believe, fear Allah as it should be feared, and die only in a state of Islam, die only as Muslims. My dear brothers, first and foremost, we praise Allah the Almighty for His numerous blessings upon us. We praise Allah the Almighty for favoring us in fasting the blessed month of Ramadan and in praying its optional prayers and engaging in supplications and in His remembrance and singing His praises and glorifying Him. We lived during this blessed month the most beautiful of days. We felt its spirituality. We felt its tranquility and peace. We felt its sharing and caring, its brotherhood, its patience. We felt our engagement in keeping ties with our kith and kin and the many other numerous virtues and blessings of this spiritual month. This month was a month of purification. A month where a person was at the peak and height of his spiritual growth and spiritual enhancement. And as we are saddened to leave this blessed month, we are saddened that this blessed month has left us like the Sahaba radiallahu anhum was saddened when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam left them. But I want to remind you of those most beautiful words of As-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu, who said, "Man kana ya'budu Muhammadan fa inna Muhammadan kad mat, wa man kana ya'budu Allah fa inna Allah hayyun la yamut." Whoever used to worship Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has died. But he who used to worship Allah, then Allah is alive and never dies. And what I want to say to you, those who used to worship Allah in Ramadan only, then Ramadan has left us. But the Lord of Ramadan is the Lord of the other 11 months that remain. And Allah is always present. He will never leave you. He is always alive. So worship Him. Keep to worshiping Him and obeying Him at all times. Keep to your covenant and pledge which He has prescribed upon you. And that is to worship and obey Him at all times, my dear brothers. يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. O mankind, worship your Lord who created you and those before you, so that you may attain piety, God-fearingness, uprightness. وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. They've only been commanded to worship Him sincerely in the religion. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have only created jinn and mankind to worship me. The Prophet ﷺ said, بايعوني على أن لا تشركوا بالله شيئا. Swear allegiance to me that you will worship Allah without associating any partners besides Him. And He ﷺ said, وَحَقُّ اللَّهِ عَلَى الْعَبِيدِ أَنْ يَعْبُدُوهُ وَلَا يُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا. And the right of Allah upon mankind is that they should worship Him and not associate any others in worship besides Him, the Almighty. Therefore, my dear brothers, work on preserving, safeguarding your Iman. Work on maintaining and enhancing your spiritual growth. Do what you used to do in Ramadan, after Ramadan. Keep on performing your congregational prayers, which you used to do during Ramadan. A lot of the mosques are complaining that after Ramadan, the mosques are empty. Subhanallah. And we see it and witness it with our own eyes. During Ramadan, mashallah, the mosques are full. After Ramadan, you'll be lucky to get a line or two. Why is that? Isn't the Lord of Ramadan the Lord of the other 11 months outside of Ramadan? Aren't your obligations the same obligations after Ramadan? Keep on reciting the Quran. Keep on doing your optional prayers, your optional fasts. Keep ties with your kith and kin. Keep on engaging in dhikr and dua of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do as much as you are capable of doing concerning the qiyam, the tahajjud prayer. That is how you will maintain your iman and preserve it. And know that the best actions and deeds in the sight of Allah the Almighty are those which are done consistently, even if they are small in number. أحب الأعمال إلى الله يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أحب الأعمال إلى الله أدومها وإن قل. The best of deeds in the sight of Allah, the most beloved of deeds in the sight of Allah, is that which is done consistently, even if it's done in small numbers. And this is the downfall of many of the brothers and sisters after Ramadan. They're not consistent in doing good deeds. SubhanAllah, the Prophet ﷺ was described by Aisha radiallahu anha as the following: وَكَانَ عَمَلُهُ دِيمًا. The Prophet ﷺ, Aisha said, his actions, his deeds were consistent day in, day out. They were consistent. And in another narration, كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا عمل عملا أثبته. If the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم performed an action, he would remain firm and steadfast upon it. That key word, steadfastness, which we lack, or a lot of us lack. Sufyan al-Thaqafi radiyallahu anhu came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and said to him, Ya Rasulullah, قل لي في الإسلام قولا لا أسأل عنه أحدا بعدك أو غيرك. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قل آمنت بالله ثم استقم. قل آمنت بالله ثم استقم. Sufyan al-Thaqafi came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, said, O Prophet of Allah, say a word to me, give me an advice that I will not seek it from any other besides you. In an advice which I can carry on for the rest of my life, and I won't need to ask anyone besides you. He said, say, I believe in Allah. Remain firm in your belief in Allah. And then he says, and then remain steadfast upon his obedience, upon his worship. Remain steadfast. A key word. Allah says to his Prophet, فَاسْتَقِمْ كَمَا أُمِرْتَ وَمَنْ تَابَ مَعَكَ. Remain firm, steadfast, as you have been commanded. And those who have believed and repented with you, let them remain steadfast and firm. May Allah the Almighty make us steadfast and firm upon His religion until we meet Him in the best state. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. In the name of Allah, all praise is due to Allah. May the peace and blessings and prayers be upon His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. My dear brothers, know that Allah's paradise is not cheap. Is not cheap. Does not come cheap. It must be earned. You must put in the hard work for it. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says in the authentic hadith, ألا إن سلعة الله غالية ألا إن سلعة الله غالية ألا إن سلعة الله الجنة. Verily the commodity of Allah is expensive, is precious. Verily the commodity of Allah is expensive, is precious. The commodity of Allah is paradise. You need to earn it. You need to put in the hard work for it. وَتِلْكَ الْجَنَّةُ الَّتِي أُورِثْتُمُوهَا بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. Indeed, this is the paradise which you have inherited through that which you used to do, through your actions, through your deeds. إِنَّ اللَّهَ اشْتَرَى مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَمْوَالَهُم بِأَنَّ لَهُمُ الْجَنَّةِ. Allah has bought from the believers their own lives and their wealth in return for paradise. And the Sahaba radiallahu anhum wa ardahum, when they knew how precious and expensive this paradise was, that which no eyesight has seen, nor any ear has heard of, nor any heart can comprehend, they gave their lives and wealth cheaply for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They strove their utmost in worship, in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and remained steadfast upon that up until their death. Up until their death. But where do we stand concerning this commodity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do we deserve it? Are we deserving of it? This is the question which each one of you which each and every one of you should ask himself. Have I put in the effort, the time? Have I sacrificed my time and my wealth and worked hard to earn this paradise? حفة الجنة بالمكاره وحفة النار بالشهوات. Jannah, my dear brothers, is surrounded by hardship. Hellfire is surrounded by lusts and desires. Jannah is not easy to be gained. It is not easy for you to enter paradise. Because you need to work hard, you need to strive, you need to remain firm in doing that which pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala up until your death. Whilst hellfire, very easy to enter. Just follow your lusts and desires. And that's where you'll end. We seek refuge in the hellfire. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala paradise, the highest levels of paradise. I want to remind you, my dear brothers, to fast 6 days of Shawwal. We are in the month of Shawwal. Very important. The Prophet ﷺ says, "Man sama Ramadan, thumma atba'ahu bi sittin min Shawwal, kana qasiyam ad-dahr." He who fasts Ramadan, and that's important. I want to point something out here. For those who are sick or traveling or missed out on days in Ramadan, especially our sisters, menstruating, make up first the days of Ramadan. Then follow it up with 6 days of Shawwal, as the Prophet ﷺ states in this hadith. So make up your days first, then follow it up with 6 days of Shawwal. It is like as if you have fasted the whole year. How is that? Our scholars have explained this hadith in saying, in light of other hadiths, wherein the Prophet ﷺ says, "Al-hasana bi-ashri amthaliha." A good deed is multiplied by 10 times, tenfold. So if you fast Ramadan, times that by 10, it's like you fasted 10 months. There's 2 months left. If you fast the 6 days of Shawwal, times that by 10, that's 60 days. That's 2 months. It's like fasting 10 months and 2 months. It's like fasting the whole year. The scholars have said, my dear brothers, that a sign of Allah accepting your good deeds in Ramadan is that you follow it up with a good deed and you remain in that state the majority of your times. قال العلماء علامة قبول العمل الصالح أن يوفق العبد لعمل صالح بعده ثم يستقيم على ذلك في أغلب أحواله. The sign of Allah accepting your good deeds is by you following it up with another good deed after it and remaining upon that the majority of your time. And they derive this from the verse, هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان? Isn't the reward of a good deed another good deed after it? So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our good deeds from us and to enter us paradise and to make us firm upon His worship and upon His obedience for the rest of the 11 months of the year. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين واكبت أعداء الدين. اللهم انصر من نصر هذا الدين واخذل من خذل هذا الدين. اللهم فرج هم المهمومين من المسلمين ونفس كرب المكروبين من المسلمين واقض الدين عن المدينين من المسلمين واشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين وارحم موتانا وموتى المسلمين يا حي يا قيوم يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم أصلح لنا ديننا الذي هو عصمة أمرنا، وأصلح لنا دنيانا التي فيها معاشنا، وأصلح لنا آخرتنا التي إليها معادنا. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم، وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم إنا نعوذ برضاك من سخطك، وبمعافاتك من عقوبتك، وبك منك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين، وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأقم الصلاة.